I just had to go for a beautiful ride, man. Just to wake up from this dream that Begode has been bested. Not even Leaperkim bested Begode like this. It was always like a tit for tat, tit for tat, tit for tat. But INMOTION just came out and just freaking boom! Alright, I'm back on my EXN. Woo! You know why I'm so excited right now? Because I'm very proud of INMOTION, man. I'm extremely proud of INMOTION. What the frick is going on? Wow, I've never seen such excitement for a particular company as I'm seeing right now with INMOTION. And I have to say, it's well deserved. It's well deserved. Wow, INMOTION. Good job. Oh my gosh. I mean, from the testing to bringing the guys from the US, everything just worked out perfectly for INMOTION. This is amazing. 235 volts, 50S cells. I mean, I'm not sure how long 50S is gonna last in terms of being the best technology at the moment, but so far, man, this is unbelievable. The fact that we're talking about INMOTION is pretty insane if you think about it. Now, don't get me wrong, the V13 was a good attempt, but they didn't quit. They did not quit! I am so impressed right now. I'm hyped because it shows that the EUC world is like so weird, dude. It's like you never know what to expect. And when Begode released the race, 210, was it 210 volts? Yeah, 210 volts. I'm thinking that was pretty amazing by itself already, but the execution of INMOTION was just pristine. It was perfect. It was perfect. What? I mean, I know a lot of people were saying, why did they release the video of them crashing their wheel? And I know Duff talked about it not being a good video because, you know, the wheel didn't survive, but I mean, it kind of did, because if you think about it, the wheel would never undergo this type of abuse in real world scenarios. So what they did to that wheel in the testing was literally more than any of us would ever do. So shout out to INMOTION, man. No shade, no shade. Performance, speed, range, and all that stuff is not something that they're known for. And deep down inside, I always wanted INMOTION to come out with a powerful wheel, because if anyone was going to be able to do it properly, it would be them and no one else, like literally, you know, because they have that experience with quality. And I love Begode because Begode gives me what I want in terms of performance. I don't really look to Begode for quality. That's like looking to Lamborghini or Ferrari for quality. You know what I mean? Yeah, they release a quality product based on how it looks, but in terms of maintenance and reliability, Lamborghini, Ferrari, all these hypercars are not known for that. You know, you get a Lexus or you get a BMW or something like that. And Begode is just that type of hypercar, but INMOTION is equivalent to that that car that Lexus released, the ISF. I don't know if you guys know about the ISF, but Lexus released the wheel a long time ago to show that they could, in fact, get into the world of performance vehicles, like race cars and hypercars and stuff. And they did it as a hero car, you know what I mean? As a hero product to demonstrate that they have the capability of doing that stuff. And they did a great job. The problem is it wasn't really marketable. But INMOTION did that with the V13, and that's how I looked at the V13. I think the V13 was basically a hero car. It was just there to demonstrate that they could do it. And they did, man. Oh my gosh. And I always knew they could. The V13, when I rode that thing in the tunnel, from Dorchester to like South Boston, I was impressed with the stability of that wheel. The only issue was the battery just could not last. I went from 100% to like 70% in less than 10 miles. And I was like, holy smokes, this is not gonna work. No one's gonna buy this. Why would I buy a massive wheel that's not capable of bringing me anywhere? You know what I mean? So they did this perfectly, man. Everything was just perfect. Oh my gosh, dude, I want a P6. I was just talking to one of my friends who, he's been riding for about a year, and he's a fast rider, man. And this is like literally the peak of performance right now. The peak of EUC performance. Now, I'm sorry. What's his name? Zen Lee mentioned that, you know, Eastgate used to be the fastest at AVS. And what we found out was, well, he thought that at some point, maybe the Begode race would bring us to that point where we would beat the Eastgate. But INMOTION destroyed everybody. And let's be honest, I'm going to be very honest because I'm an honest guy. I don't think there was really much of a competition at AVS. There were 5 INMOTIONs, dude. 5 INMOTIONs and maybe like 3 or 4 other wheels, you know, like the Leaperkim. And another good point that Zen Lee made is that the guys who were in front, the guys who were riding the INMOTION P6 were the guys who were pretty much the top riders in general. So it's not like, you know, they were racing against any great riders. Now Q was very impressive. Oh my gosh, I can't believe Q kept up with a P6 and he was beeping the whole way. I'm like, Q, whoever you are, that's freaking crazy what you did. So I don't know, man, this is very exciting in the sense that it's a wheel that can potentially do, well, not potentially, it's a wheel that can do 93 miles an hour. But the point is, the fact that it could do that alone is amazing. Not that we will do it, but the fact that we could do it is amazing by itself. And that is what I'm so happy about, because cutting out, being able to ride with confidence, that's the most important thing about wheels nowadays. Back then, we were getting to that point. We were kind of pushing the technology along with all of our attempts. But now, INMOTION has just captivated all of us by listening to every single feedback. Probably that, like I think what they did was they aggregated every feedback from other manufacturers, and they just made it happen. They literally just took all the feedback from Begode, from Leaperkim, and you know what they said, in my opinion? They probably said, listen, we have the capability to do this, but the question is, how do you execute it? Because the V13, like I said, was a perfect example of just, I don't know, poor execution with the right technology. It was the right technology that we all needed, but it was just poor execution. So shout out to INMOTION, man, because they went back to the drawing board. They didn't quit. They went back to the drawing board, and honestly, all the doubts that a lot of us had is warranted. It's completely warranted, because they did do a terrible job with the V13. I wouldn't say terrible in the sense of what technology it had, but how it was executed. Why would you release such a massive wheel with very little battery? It's just, I don't want to focus on their past, on their failures, but the stuff they learned from their failures definitely showed in the perfect execution of that P6. Because, dude, I mean, damn, if we just look back and we see how they went about introducing it, talking about it, the marketing, the testing, bringing different riders who have crazy experience in racing. And gosh, they even went off-roading to test the suspension to make sure that it was at least on par with people who do light off-roading. I mean, you know, I used to work for a company. It's a consumer products company. I won't mention the name. But what they did was they would often bring in products from other competitors, and they would literally look how they built it and how these people were able to get such market share and good feedback from their customers. And I would see that. I'm walking in the door and I'm like, whoa, there are other products from other competing companies. And I'm like, why would they do that? Well, it makes sense. I mean, you don't want to invent everything from scratch, right? you want to have your own proprietary technology, but you also want to use the existing market research that they've done and implement it in your own technology. And I honestly think with the V13, I think INMOTION was hesitant to do that, and we saw the result. So now INMOTION said, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to actually learn from other people. And that's exactly what they did. They put their pride aside. They brought the guys in. The guys raced it. They hit it. I wouldn't be surprised if like crashing it was not INMOTION's idea. That was probably the guy's idea. And say, hey guys, I have a crazy idea. Why don't we just crash a wheel? Like just sacrifice one wheel, you know? And they did, man. That's crazy. Now, one thing I was watching the video, several videos actually, of the race at AVS. And one thing I noticed is just how smooth, and there was a little bit of wobble, but I don't think that was due to the wheel. I think it was like around the third lap, maybe the second to third lap. And one guy was literally wobbling on a P6. He was right behind Roger, I believe. I believe it was Roger. Or maybe it was Q, I don't know. Or maybe it was the last guy behind the fourth guy on the INMOTION P6. But the point is, I think he was wobbling because his legs were tired. Not because of the wheel, because he gained control like seconds afterwards. So clearly that wheel is insanely secure, insanely stable, extremely well balanced because it's so low to the ground, meaning it's just so proportional, you know what I mean? I was concerned about the top part of the wheel. Like if you look at this part, this top part right here, I was concerned about that being too wide, because the wider it is, the harder it is to, like, you know, manage in terms of maneuvering. But I mean, I saw people like PEV Point of View, who else, Zen Lee, Marty. I've seen several people on the wheel, and no one complained about its thickness. So that tells me a lot, man. That tells me that wheel was really designed properly. Like, oh man, this is impressive. This is impressive. So I'm giving it to INMOTION, man. But I mean, everybody can't be fake, right? I mean, they can't be fake. I mean, PEV Point of View, that guy loves his Begode race, but the moment he jumped on that P6, he was like, holy smokes. Yeah, I might reconsider. Oh my gosh, man, this is crazy. This is just my honest opinion right now about this wheel. If I could get an INMOTION P6, I would absolutely get one. I don't think I would give up Begode, because I have one tiny reservation. One tiny reservation about the INMOTION. Torque is great from everyone who's talking about it, because it has 320 Newton meters of torque, and it seems, and I like INMOTION for that too. Like, they're the only ones that I know that measure torque properly, you know what I mean? Like a lot of others, they say there's a lot of torque, but we don't really know Newton's what. We don't know the pounds, the pound feet, but or the foot pounds or whatever. But INMOTION actually tells us what it is. And then they have like 235, you know, volts, 50 S cells. So we know that's like up there, 5,000 or so watts. I'm sorry, 20,000 kilowatts, 20 kilowatts, not 20,000 kilowatts, 20,000 watts. So, I mean, that's more than any of us are used to at this point. I'm pretty sure someone's going to be able to over-torque it at some point with some type of crazy test up a hill or something like that. But on general riding roads, like flats, like basic inclines and stuff like that, I don't think you're going to be able to over-torque that thing. That's a lot of power. So you have that. You have great suspension. Obviously, it's not an off-roading wheel, but you can definitely do light off-roading. What else? The mudguard seems fine. The shell doesn't look plasticky. It looks really, I'm not sure what material it's made of, but it looks like that INMOTION quality. What else? What else can I think of? The light seems fine. The LCD display is beautiful, because when they crashed it, I was pretty happy that it wasn't even touched. Unlike the Begode Blitz, which I love the name, because, you know, hey, I came out with the Blitz race, and then next thing you know, they had a wheel called the Begode Blitz. But that screen was like, why did you? Anyway, let's not talk about that. But anyway, what else can I talk about? The fit and finish is fantastic, and that's the thing about INMOTION too. When they release a product, it looks like a final product. You know what I mean? Like how products go through phases, prototype, etc. You know, etc. This was a final, beautiful, well-built machine. I'm very curious to see how many screws there are on that thing. I wonder how it is to replace the tire. How is it to maintain the shocks? But then again, the shocks is hidden away, so that's kind of like a good thing, because you know that might invite less maintenance. I mean, it's everything you need. You don't want to maintain your shocks, dude. You really don't. You want to know it's there and have very little to do with it. And then when it's time to maintain it, then you could go ahead and do that, but it shouldn't be a pain. So the one tiny reservation I have about the INMOTION P6 and INMOTIONs in general is their battery management. They tend not to be able to maintain the watt hours for a long duration. So if like I don't know how to explain it. Like right now I rode from wherever I came from to here, and it said I was like 60%, but that's 60% under load. The moment I slow down, I'm back to like whatever 90 something percent or 98.3 volts. It's like I didn't go anywhere. I remember in the past with the V13 I would ride about the same miles, and then I would go from like, you know, I forgot how many volts the V13 was, but I'll use percentage. I went from 100 volts to like 70, like I said earlier, 70 or so percent in less than 10 miles. And I was like very unimpressed. I think it was even less than 10 miles, because I didn't really start in Dorchester. I started from South Bay, and South Bay is already close to South Boston. And I'm like, what? This thing is already done. And I was doing 50 miles an hour. So, but it's just interesting, you know what I mean? So, their battery, I don't know, man. That's the only thing I'm concerned about. It might, I fear that it might be a great wheel for like one direction, just like when PV Point of View rode on the straightaway in Chicago, and that was a beautiful street, by the way, and he was doing like 50-60 miles an hour, and you know, his battery was already down to like 80%. I don't know if he started at 100 or not, but it was down to like 80 something percent. I don't know if it went back up when he went back, but that was pretty, I mean, he didn't go anywhere, and it's already 80%, so I'm really concerned about that. But other than that, oh yeah, Koji Roll did say when he was riding 60 miles an hour or so for like 15 minutes, the motor did heat up. I mean, I don't know, these guys on the Apple Valley Speedway went nuts on that wheel for 3 laps. And yes, it was not 60 miles an hour consistently, but it was constantly engaging the motor. It was constantly stressing the motor in these turns and stuff. So that 20 watts, 20,000 watts seems to, I don't know, seems to be a good spec, not just on paper, but in the real world. So I don't know, man. I don't know much. I don't know. This is all on paper. I'm just very curious to see how this thing operates in the real world. And AVS is not the real world. AVS is a track. I'm talking about the real world. I want to see what people think about it in the real world when they finally purchase this thing, because the hype is real with this one. The hype is real with this one, man. Wow. Let me know what you guys think. But I honestly think INMOTION did a fantastic job. I don't agree with Duff. I don't agree with you, Duff. I think that that test they did was very valid. I haven't seen a single company do that type of test. So unless another company can, you know, compare with INMOTION regarding that test, I think that's a top-notch test. None of us are going to do that to our wheels. So I'm glad INMOTION sacrificed a wheel to do that. So anyway, guys, let me know what you think. I'm on my EXN. I have my awesome tunes playing. I just really felt like going for a ride. I wanted to ride to, you know, earlier today, but I don't know. This wheel is just crazy. The more I watch videos of it, the more I just can't. Oh man, I just can't. I knew INMOTION would do it, but to do it so soon and in such crazy fashion is just. That's what. Oh man, that's what great stories are made. I don't know. Are made of. Is that how they say it? EXN, I love it. I love this EXN. The reason I like it is because it's just a pick up and go wheel. I don't even think about it. I just pick it up and I go. You know what I mean? It has 2,700 watt hours. That's more watt hours than I need for a short trip in the neighborhood. No suspension whatsoever, so I'm always paying attention to the street. But hey, it just makes me more of a sharper rider, you know what I mean? I'm just more of a sharper rider. But yeah guys, yep, let's go back. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about this wheel, the INMOTION P6. Will you be getting a P6? Of course, I think the answer is yes for most people. It's yes for me, but I don't have the money. But it is yes for me for sure. I love that wheel. I like the execution. I just absolutely love the feedback from everyone who rode it. I haven't seen a single video of anyone saying anything bad about it. That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, Q got in the wheel. Yeah, not Q, what's his name? PV Point of View got in the wheel and he was like, oh shoot, I forgot about the suspension. He was so excited about the wheel, he forgot about the suspension. That's awesome, dude. That's how you know you're excited about something. Oh man. I want it. I want the INMOTION P6! But that's just pure, that's not pure hype though. That's not pure hype. I don't like to buy things on hype. I do not like to buy things based on hype because I have seen people being burned before. Especially with first batches. First and second batches, my rule of thumb is never to do that. That's funny though because I did get the MSP, which was a demo wheel. And they got the EX30, which was a demo wheel. And the reason I like these demo wheels, number one, is cheaper. Number two, it's been through a lot with other riders. So all the kinks were pretty much ironed out. And whenever something went wrong with it, since I got it from E-Wheels, and E-Wheels is freaking the best person ever, best dealer ever, he just gave me a board. I didn't pay anything for it. I think I was on my third board with the EX30 because of a bug, and E-Wheels took care of it. I didn't have to pay a thing. So I highly recommend E-Wheels. No one else but E-Wheels. You know what I mean? Now, I did think about going to Begode though and getting it directly from Begode because they have some wheels that E-Wheels does not have. Like E-Wheels doesn't sell the Blitz Pro, and I was really considering the Blitz Pro. I really wanted that wheel. E-Wheels at the moment is not selling the race. I don't know. Woo! EXN and P6. Oh my gosh, it's cold out. I was like, wait, why is this thing not overheating? Let me turn on the fan. It's 650 something degrees right now, and it hasn't overheated. I'm really pushing it. Oh man, I love the agility of this thing, man. It's just so agile. Woo! Yeah, man, the INMOTION is gonna have battery for days. Battery for days, especially for the casual rider and people who use that wheel for work. Oh my gosh, dude, this is gonna be a dream for them. Total dream. And racers. It's multifaceted. It's good for racers. It's good for everybody. I like my EXN and I like my EX30, but there's nothing wrong with getting another wheel that embraces new technology, you know what I mean? Especially with the 50S. My wheel is a 50E, and I definitely feel the sluggishness, especially when I'm next to a more powerful wheel like the Sherman L. You know, when I'm next to a Sherman L and the way he picks up, I'm like, holy smokes, I can't even pick up with this guy. So, I mean, we're talking like 10, a whole like 15 amps more powerful, you know? A whole 15 amps more. That's crazy. So, I'm just like, you know, the world of EC tech is just so crazy, so wild, so fast that the moment you buy, I mean, look, half the people that bought their race is already considering selling their race. They haven't even raced it. They haven't even raced it. They haven't even had a chance to race the race. And it's time to sell it so we can get the P6. That's the world of EUCs for you, man. This is fascinating. I don't think there's another exciting, sector in technology other than maybe the cell phone. You know what I mean? The smartphone. Oh my gosh, man, this is wild. And I'm back. I just had to go for a beautiful ride, man. Just to wake up from this dream that Begode has been bested. Not even Leaperkim bested Begode like this. It was always like a tit for tat, tit for tat, tit for tat. But INMOTION just came out and just freaking boom! Just gave the final punch. Oh my gosh. Now I'm very curious to see what's gonna happen after that. And what is Begode going to release? What is Leaperkim going to release? What is NOSFET going to release? I mean, there's no pressure. There's no pressure. I mean, let INMOTION enjoy themselves. You know, they haven't had a win for a while, so let them enjoy themselves. You know, and there's really no need to, to rain on their parade right now. But hey, it's business. It's business. If you don't innovate as soon as possible, you're done. So I think Begode will release something quite soon, and it's going to be typical Begode. It's not going to be, a smooth launch. It's just going to be more power, more, battery. I mean, Begode can do it. It's not like they can't. They just reserve themselves in case there's competition. They have bullets in their chamber that they hold in case someone comes out with something great and they can just respond. But 235 volts, 20k watts is a lot to compete against, in my opinion. So especially the way they did it, dude, the way they did it, Anyway, we talked about it already. I'm not going to repeat myself. Anyway, guys, have a good one. And let me know what you think in the comments. INMOTION P6!